Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I came here to tell you that you were not born to stay the same. You were not created just to exist, you were designed to evolve. You were made for more. And if you're tired of standing in the same spot, if you're ready to grow, then hear me when I say there are 7 things that will improve you, transform you, and launch you into your purpose. You see, the greatest enemy of your next level is not the devil, it's your lack of discipline. We don't like to talk about that because it puts the responsibility back on *us*. But let me tell you something: destiny doesn't respond to desire. It responds to *discipline*. You can want it all day long, you can cry about it, you can pray about it, but until you discipline yourself to do what needs to be done, you'll keep circling the same mountain. We live in a world that's addicted to feelings. If we don't feel like it, we don't do it. But let me ask you this: since when did feelings become your master? *Since when did your emotions start calling the shots in your life? You weren't created to be ruled by your feelings. You were created to rule over them Because if your feelings can stop you, then your future will always be held hostage by your mood. Discipline is not glamorous. It doesn't get applause. Nobody claps for the quiet moments when you wake up early, shut off distractions, and grind while everyone else is sleeping. Nobody sees the tears you cry in silence while staying committed to the vision. But hear me, discipline will take you where motivation cannot go Motivation is like a match, it flares up, but it doesn't last. Discipline is the fire that keeps burning when the match goes out. You cannot pray your way around discipline. You cannot shout your way around work. Sometimes we're waiting on God to move, and God is waiting on us to mature. He's saying, I gave you the tools, I gave you the time, I gave you the word. Now where is your discipline? Don't ask God to bless what you're not willing to build. Don't ask Him for a harvest when you haven't even planted the seed of effort. Every breakthrough requires obedience to routine. That's the part we skip. Everyone wants the crown, but not everybody wants the cross. Everybody wants the reward, but few want the repetition. But if you can be faithful in the little, in the quiet, in the lonely, in the overlooked, then God will make you ruler over much. Not because you shouted louder than everyone else, not because you were the most gifted, but because you were disciplined enough to carry what He gave you. Discipline is the difference between potential and progress. And don't you dare bury your gift under excuses. Stop telling yourself, I'll start tomorrow. No start now because the longer you delay discipline, the longer you delay destiny. And I don't know about you, but I don't have time to waste. I've got places to go, people to impact, a legacy to build, and discipline is the price of the journey. So make up your mind today. I will not be mastered by my mood. I will not bow to my comfort. I will rise with discipline walk with purpose, and run toward the vision whether I feel like it or not. There is a power that far exceeds what you can see with your eyes or feel with your hands. A power that moves mountains and changes destinies. That power comes from your connection to the divine, from a place of prayer and reflection that fuels your soul and aligns your purpose. Without this spiritual connection, your efforts will always fall short, no matter how hard you work or how many plans you make. You can try to build your life on your own strength, but it will crumble like sand because true transformation begins in the unseen, in the quiet moments when you humble yourself, seek guidance, and listen for that still, small voice. Prayer is not just a religious ritual or something you do when you're desperate. It is the lifeline that connects you to the source of all wisdom, all strength, and all breakthrough. When you make prayer a consistent part of your day, you're not just asking for help, you're positioning yourself to receive clarity, courage, and a peace that surpasses understanding. You're aligning your will with a higher purpose and opening the door for supernatural intervention. The battles you face in the natural can only be won in the spiritual realm first. That's why the greatest victories often come after the longest nights of seeking God. Reflection is equally important because it gives you the opportunity to pause, evaluate, and realign. How can you grow if you don't know where you stand? How can you improve if you don't learn from your mistakes? When you take time to reflect, you are inviting truth to illuminate the areas in your life that need change. Sometimes that truth is uncomfortable, but it is necessary. You must be willing to look at yourself honestly, confess what is holding you back, and commit to letting go of old habits and mindsets that no longer serve you. Reflection fuels growth because it turns experience into wisdom. Many people rush through life, chasing success and approval, but neglect the internal work that prepares them for lasting impact. You can't pour from an empty cup, and you can't lead others to a place you haven't been yourself. The moments you spend in prayer and reflection fill you up, renew your vision, and give you the stamina to keep going when the road gets rough. It is in these sacred moments that you discover your identity beyond your failures and fears, and you tap into a strength that is greater than any obstacle. Without spiritual strength, your foundation will be shaky. You might gain temporary victories, but you won't experience the lasting peace and fulfillment that come from walking in alignment with your divine purpose. The world will try to distract you with noise and chaos, but when you cultivate a daily habit of prayer and reflection, you create a sanctuary in your soul that no one can invade. It is here that your dreams are nurtured, your vision is sharpened, and your faith is fortified. So make it a non-negotiable part of your life to connect daily with that higher power through prayer and reflection, not just when life is good, but especially when it's hard. Let those quiet moments be the anchor in the storm, the wellspring of your courage, and the light that guides your steps. Remember, the greatest transformation starts from within. The moment you prioritize your spiritual strength, everything else in your life will begin to fall into place. There comes a time in every journey when you have to face a hard truth. Not everything and not everyone is meant to go with you. The weight you carry around may not be a burden you earned. It could be the dead weight of people, habits, or memories that no longer serve your destiny. You've got to understand, if you want to rise, you have to let go. You cannot climb higher while dragging chains around your ankles. You cannot soar like an eagle if you're weighed down by the past, by toxic relationships, by bitterness, or by old disappointments. Let me be clear, letting go is not about giving up or walking away in defeat. It is about making space for what God is trying to bring into your life. You cannot hold onto a broken branch and expect to build a mighty tree. Sometimes the branches have to be pruned so that new growth can happen. And yes, that pruning process can be painful, but it is necessary. Growth always requires sacrifice. You cannot harvest grapes if you are still clinging to the thorns. There are people who are meant to walk with you for a season, not a lifetime. There are friendships that held you during a storm, but now threaten to drown you in negativity. There are habits that comforted you in the past, but now chain you to your old self. The problem is, we get comfortable in the familiar, even when it's killing us slowly. We hold on to what we know because it's safe, even when it's stealing our peace and progress. You have to ask yourself, is this relationship lifting me up or pulling me down? Is this habit moving me closer to my purpose or further away? Is this mindset empowering me or enslaving me? If the answer is anything but growth, it's time to let it go. Not because you don't love, not because you don't care, but because you love yourself enough to protect your future. You owe yourself that much. The enemy loves to keep you distracted by unnecessary battles, arguments that drain your energy, grudges that poison your heart, or toxic people that steal your joy. These are chains disguised as comfort zones. They whisper lies that tell you you can't do better or you don't deserve more, but God's truth is louder. You were created for greatness and nothing less. Letting go is a spiritual act of faith. It says, I trust that God has something better for me. It says, I believe that my future is worth more than my past. When you cut off what's dead weight, you make room for the divine to bring fresh opportunities, new relationships, and greater blessings. You clear the path so you can walk without stumbling. This isn't easy. Letting go often feels like losing a part of yourself. But what you will gain is far greater. The freedom to be who you were truly meant to be. Freedom to step fully into your calling. Freedom to live without regret, resentment, or chains holding you back. If you want to improve, if you want to rise, start by shedding what is holding you down. Let go with faith. Walk forward with courage and watch how God fills the space you've cleared with His abundant life. Your breakthrough begins when you release the dead weight. Don't carry what you weren't meant to carry. It's time to rise. You cannot grow in a vacuum. You cannot improve if you stop learning. The moment you think you know it all, you begin to shrink. Growth is a journey that never ends. If you want to become the best version of yourself, you have to become a lifelong student of life. Learning is not just about degrees or certificates. It's about the hunger in your heart to keep expanding your mind and spirit every single day. Life will keep teaching you lessons whether you like it or not. The question is, will you learn from them, or will you keep making the same mistakes over and over? Wisdom comes from experience, but experience without reflection is just wasted energy. You have to be willing to open your mind, to receive new information, and to change when necessary. If you hold on to old ways, old ideas, old mindsets, you will never step into the new destiny waiting for you. Learning requires humility. It means admitting that you don't have all the answers. It means being teachable, even when you feel like you're already far ahead. Pride is the enemy of progress because it closes your ears to correction and your heart to growth. But humility says, I'm not perfect. I'm not finished. I'm willing to grow. When you embrace humility, you open the door for wisdom to enter and for your life to be transformed. You also have to be intentional about your learning. It doesn't just happen by accident. You must seek it out. Read books that challenge your thinking. Listen to those who have walked the path before you. Surround yourself with people who inspire and push you to be better. Attend workshops, watch videos, listen to podcasts. Whatever it takes to keep your mind sharp and your vision clear. You are responsible for the quality of the information you feed your mind. The world is moving fast, and if you're standing still, you're falling behind. Technology, culture, even relationships require new skills and fresh perspectives. You have to adapt or be left behind. But when you commit to lifelong learning, you position yourself to thrive in any season. You develop resilience because you are prepared. You cultivate creativity because your mind is always expanding. You grow confidence because knowledge dispels fear. Remember, growth is not just about knowledge, it's about application. It's not enough to know what to do, you must do what you know. Wisdom without action is like a lamp without light. It doesn't fulfill its purpose. So when you learn, take that knowledge and put it into practice. Let it shape your decisions, your habits, your attitude. The greatest leaders, the most successful people, are learners. They understand that improvement is a process, not a destination. They know that every day presents a new opportunity to get better, to sharpen their skills, to deepen their understanding, and you can be one of them. So don't settle for what you already know. Don't get comfortable with your current level. Make a commitment today to be a lifelong learner. Let curiosity drive you. Let hunger push you, because the more you learn, the more you grow, and the more you grow, the closer you get to the destiny that was created just for you. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is not something to be feared or avoided at all costs. Pain is a teacher, a refiner, a necessary part of your journey toward greatness. You see, too many people run from pain as if it were a plague, as if it were a sign that something has gone wrong. But the truth is, pain often signals that you are on the edge of breakthrough. It means you are stretching beyond your comfort zone, moving out of the old into the new. Pain is the price of progress. When you face pain head on, you gain strength. When you run from it, you stay weak. It is in the moments of discomfort, the trials, the struggles, that your character is built. It is in the fire of adversity that you become refined, like gold tested by flames. Pain reveals who you really are. It shows you what you're made of. It uncovers hidden reservoirs of faith, courage, and resilience you never knew existed. Don't let pain paralyze you or define you. Don't let it convince you that you are a victim or that your story is over. Instead, see pain as a divine appointment. It is God's way of shaking you awake, preparing you for a greater purpose. Every tear you shed, every wound you carry, every heartache you endure has meaning. It is shaping you into a stronger, wiser, more compassionate person. If you can learn to embrace your pain, you will discover that it carries within it the seeds of your greatest triumphs. Understand this. Pain is temporary, but the lessons it teaches last a lifetime. When you endure pain with faith, when you press through your trials instead of turning back, you come out on the other side stronger, more determined, and more prepared for the blessings ahead. You develop patience because you learn that not everything happens on your timeline. You develop endurance because you realize that giving up is not an option. You develop a deeper trust in God because you see that He is faithful even in your darkest hours. Many have made the mistake of thinking that pain means punishment or failure. But pain does not define your worth or your future. Your past hurts do not have to become your prison. The scars you carry are not signs of defeat. They are marks of survival, reminders that you overcame, that you refused to stay broken. Pain is a chapter in your story, not the whole story. When you face pain, don't run away. Lean into it. Ask God what He wants to teach you through this. Ask yourself what you need to let go of or change because of this pain. Be honest about your feelings, but don't get stuck there. Use your pain as fuel to propel you forward, not chains to hold you back. Your breakthrough is on the other side of your pain. The very thing you think will destroy you is being used to build you. The pressure you feel is the process that's pushing you toward your purpose. So don't shrink back. Don't quit. Stand firm, knowing that pain is not the end, it's the beginning of your transformation. Embrace it, grow through it, and watch how God turns your pain into your greatest power. Faith is not just about what you say, it's about what you do. It's easy to say, I believe, but faith without action is like a seed that never grows. It stays buried in the soil of your heart, never breaking through to the light. Real faith moves. It steps out even when the path is dark, even when the way isn't clear. It's faith that takes the first step, not because you see the whole staircase, but because you trust the one who built the stairs. Many people get stuck waiting for everything to be perfect before they move. They want all the signs, all the confirmations, all the guarantees, but faith doesn't wait for perfection, it creates it. Faith says, I don't have to have all the answers. I don't have to understand the entire plan. I just have to move forward. You see, faith is not the absence of fear. It's the courage to keep going despite fear. It's the decision to walk by faith and not by sight. You cannot grow without moving forward. You cannot improve if you stand still, frozen by doubt or overwhelmed by uncertainty. Every step you take in faith is a victory. It breaks strongholds, it opens doors, it brings you closer to the destiny God has prepared for you. But that step has to come from you. God will not carry you where He has called you to walk in obedience. Faith requires action because it honors God's promises by responding to them. It's not enough to believe in the promises. You have to live as if they are already true. When God says, I will bless you, faith says, then I will prepare myself to receive that blessing. When God says, I will make a way, faith says, then I will step onto that way even if I can't see it yet. Sometimes faith looks like moving forward without seeing the outcome. It looks like trusting God when the situation looks impossible. It looks like pressing on when your strength is gone and your resources are low. That's when faith shines the brightest. That's when your steps are most powerful. Because it's not your power that moves mountains. It's God working through your faith-filled action. Don't let your faith be idle. Don't let it be stuck in your prayers or your hopes. Let your faith work in your hands, your feet, your mind, and your heart. Let it be alive by the way you live, the risks you take, the dreams you pursue, and the battles you fight. Faith is not passive. It's aggressive in pursuing God's purpose for your life. So make a decision today to move even when you don't see the whole path, to trust even when the road is uncertain, to believe even when the odds are against you. Step forward in faith, knowing that God's promises are sure and His timing is perfect. Your breakthrough, your transformation, your destiny all require that you keep moving, because faith that moves is faith that changes everything.